Okay, so thank you, Mother Bihari Medical Center, Meditation Center, for inviting me to speak on this. And before I start, I need your help. So some of you may have a lot of things that's happening in your life. So you have to choose to be mindful rather than full of things that happen in your life right now. So um, one of the key principle of good memory, because sometimes some of my patients and older people say that their memory is not good. So number one thing that to have a good memory is to pay attention. So you can have a genius when they go to school, but if you are not paying attention, you may not learn whatever the teacher are teaching you at home and in the school. So sometimes my mother said that she cannot remember things. So I told her, when you put all your important things like keys or wallet and all that, pay attention of where you put it. So being mindful is a key of spending a optimal time this evening, because you will be listening to me for the next 1 hour. So if you are not paying attention, then you may have wasted your time. So that's my request for you. Okay, so this is a medical disclaimer. This information is for educational purpose and it's not intended as a medical advice. Always seek the advice of your physician and other qualified health physician if any questions that you have regarding your medical condition. And never disregard your professional medical advice and delay in seeking help because of something you have read or heard in this presentation. So the presenters and also organizers disclaim any liability for any adverse event resulting from the use of the information contained here. And I hope that you can use the information today as a framework or guide to improve your own mental well-being. Okay. So this is the 5 hindrances in Buddha's teaching. Whatever that we do in life, it's not just meditation. There are 5 things that stop us from doing it. So it was taught by Buddha for meditation hindrances. First one is ill will, second sensory desire, restlessness and doubt and sloth. So if you are paying attention today, sometimes there are things that affect you. So the ill will of the facts that I present, and some sensory desire, restlessness and doubt, and also some of you may be so tired because of working for the whole day. So be aware of this so that you can pay attention. So my conflict of bias, interest and bias, I'm a Buddhist. I have learned a little bit of this superficially. And also is a BUPS member and also the ESCO for Susima Society. It's a Theravada society. And I'm a Tzu commissioner. And my son completed secondary school in City of 10,000 Buddha in US under Master Shen Hua. And from the Tibetan tradition, I attended the NKT classes, Fire Puja Empowerment Chanting Retreats a while ago. So I'm not a Buddhist scholar and I'm not a psychiatrist. So after you have listened to me, you have some mental issue, don't come and see me. I'm a cardiologist, so I cannot help you with your psychiatric problem. I have no financial interest in giving this talk. And whatever that I say today, sometimes is based on facts and sometimes based on opinion. So it's purely for knowledge and for Buddhism understanding and also for harmony. So I'm not a purist. Purist means that some people are pure Theravada, pure Mahayana, and also Tibetan tradition. So for me, I'm guided by this Kalama Sutta. So Kalama Sutta, if some of you will know about it, so there are a lot of words. So this is a recorded talk, so you can read on your own time. But the important thing, it says that if under any circumstances, there are many doctrines and many teachers are teaching what they claim has been taught by Buddha. But when there are reasons for doubt, there will be some uncertainty. So Buddha said that do not go by reports, repeated hearing by legend, tradition, rumors, by conjecture or action by inference or analogies. And you have to think over it. And when such things are, whatever that you are hearing is unskillful, that's not good, or even criticized or praised by the wise, and if undertaken and observed. So make sure that you have to make your own judgment that whatever that you are hearing has it benefit and cause equanimity. So this one is a lot of wording, so you can read on your own. And my computer here can only see certain parts, so let me adjust it a little bit. Okay. So there are also four great references before Parinibbana called the Mahapadesa. So the guiding principle the Buddha advised the monks that if you have to validate any teaching after his death, so he's not around anymore, and there's no video recordings or audio recordings, so you are not sure whether whatever that he taught is real. So he said that if a teaching is claimed to come from Buddha, from a community of senior monks or a group of elder monks or single respected monk, in each case, the teaching should be checked against the Dharma and the Vinaya to ensure that it aligns with the core principles. Yeah, so let me get the laser pointer. Okay. So this will be quite an interactive talk. So I want you to spend the next 5 seconds to rate your own happiness from 1 to 10. So if you are willing to share your own happiness, you can type in the chat box. If not, I will proceed and continue to talk. So it's important to try to rate it yourself. You don't want to share, at least you have it in your mind. And I advise you to have some paper and pen in front of you so that you can go along with the practice. So if you are from 5, 6 to 10, that means you are doing quite well in terms of managing your stresses and also your suffering. From 1 to 5, then you must pay more attention, because today we are going to talk about some of the solution for the suffering that cause your unhappiness. So before we go further, I want you to spend the next 10 seconds to write down on a piece of paper and list your current mental affliction. So I give you 10 seconds to think. And if you want to list it, I mean, you can put it in the chat box, you can. So I give you about 10 seconds. So what are things that is affecting you right now, your mental unhappiness? Okay, so for those who have written down, so it's important for you to try to participate on your own so that you can get the most out of my talk today. So these are the things that can affect our mind. The first one is anger and hatred. So do you have some bitterness against someone, your family, friends, or relatives? Fear and anxiety. This is a very common problem in the whole world now. Fear of health. Many of my patients are very worried. And then death, financial loss, or loss of family, or grief, sadness and grief, guilt and shame. So maybe they've done something wrong in the past and they keep thinking about it. Jealousy and envy, frustration and impatience, and loneliness and isolation. This is a very big problem, and many research have shown that if you are lonely, you have more mental illnesses, greed and attachment. So addiction to some of the substance like alcohol, smoking, or drugs, or the social media, confusion and delusion, and hopelessness and despair, feeling. Some of them have suicidal thoughts, depression, and all that. So see whether you have any of these things. So all of us will have some mental unhappiness, but when do we know that this unhappiness is something very serious that you have to look for help? So in medical terms, these are the things that you have to, if you have any of these symptoms persisting for more than a few weeks, and this is the most important key thing, if you interfere with your daily functioning at home. So at home, you cannot talk to any of your family members, or work, or you cannot go to work because you are so affected by this mental issue. And also you cannot take care of yourself. You cannot take care of your own hygiene or take care of your own health. That is something serious that you have to see someone to help you. So, and then if you have signs of suicidal thoughts or behavior, you contact a mental health professional or call the suicidal prevention hotline. So this is an important slide. So all of us have a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of sadness, but it affects your life as a normal human. Then you have to look for help before you get worse. So one of the principles of medical care is prevention. So don't wait until it's stage 4 or 5, when it's serious before you look for help. So what are the early warnings and the symptoms and signs of mental illness? So I want you to spend 10 seconds. If you have some of this mental issue, what are the symptoms and signs? Apart from the memory thing, it's about your daily routine and habits. So for the next 10 seconds, you think about someone that has some of this issue and what are the things that make you think that something is wrong. So what are the early signs that they have mental illness? Okay, if you are, some of you can type in the chat box if you want to share with the rest. Okay, so this is a lot of here. So there's a lot of information and it's recorded so that you can look at it, go back and look at it on your own free time. Okay, so all these are changes in mood, persistent sadness or low mood, excessive worry or anxiety, withdrawal from and social isolation. So a lot of young people, when they have mental illness, they start to withdraw and rather than going out with their friends. And when their friends send them messages or family members sending them messages, they don't respond. Changes in behavior, so disruption in their eating and sleeping patterns. So sometimes they miss their meals and they sleep. They have difficulty concentrating, frequent forgetfulness, and indecisiveness, insomnia, sometimes oversleeping. So they spend a lot of time sleeping. So that is also a sign that something is wrong. So pay attention for those who have children or teenagers. If they have some of these signs, you have to start to communicate with them and see what's going on. Appetite and weight changes, physical symptom with no medical explanation. Okay, this one is very common in my practice. Many patients that come to see me with chest pain or breathlessness, they do not have a real medical physical problem, and a lot of them are because of anxiety, causing their body to be hypersensitive, and they felt a lot of this symptom. Feeling of hopelessness and worthlessness, like suicidal thoughts or behavior, feel stuck, unable to escape difficulties, hallucination and delusion. This one is stage 4. This is very serious. So those people with serious depression, they will start to see things. So this is a serious sign. You must bring them to see a psychiatrist. Substance abuse, so they may start to drink more alcohol and take drugs. Dependency and withdrawal symptom, excessive guilt or shame, loss of interest in life, motivation and all that, and excessive irrational fear or paranoia, avoidance behavior. So they will avoiding going to public spaces, and they have paranoia. So they always think that other people are trying to steal things from them, inability to cope with their daily life. So all this you can look at it on your own later. Okay, so what is the prevalence of mental illness in Malaysia? I have the data for Malaysia and Singapore. According to 2023 survey, the prevalence of depression is written up there, 4.6%. So 1 million people of more than 15-year-old, and about 50% of these people reported some suicidal ideation. So this is based on the survey from National Health Morbidity Survey. So it's not from the newspaper. And among children from 5 to 15 years old, the prevalence of mental health doubled from this to 16.5%. So you can see here, the young people from 5 to 15 years old, they are like primary to secondary school. 1 in 8 of them has mental problem. So 1 in 6 children. So you may think that Malaysia is spared compared to Singapore. So Malaysia is not too far away. So in Singapore, you always hear about some of these children committing suicide and all that. So you see the data shows 17%, and the younger generation, 18 to 29 years old, about 25.3%. So 1 in 4 of these young people has mental health problem, and the females have more of this problem compared to the males. So, but the general trend in Singapore shows that increased willingness to seek help, especially through informal support networks. So many people with this problem, they don't want to see psychiatrists because of the stigma. They don't want to see psychologists. So they may talk to their GP or normal non-mental doctors like me or general practitioner. And sometimes they don't talk even to their doctors, they will talk to their family members or friends, or some friends who they think that they can trust. So with this knowledge, you can help some of these people that you know. Okay, this is also the data from this survey. It showed that 1 in 6 children, and the burden of mental health is a lot. So you can read on your own. All this peer problem, conduct problem, hyperactivity problem, emotional problem, and so 1 million of Malaysian has this mental issue. It increased 2 times the number of depression. About half of them thought of hurting themselves. So these are the data in Malaysia, and there's a helpline here that you can advise them to do it. So you can see the numbers for the younger generation, 16 to 29 years old, is higher than the older people. So I'm quite surprised with this data, because I thought older people has more depression, but young people, they are just keeping quiet. So this is also this Malaysian data show that, are you sleeping enough? So maybe many sleep less than 7 hours, and then 38% of adults in Malaysia are not sleeping enough. So sleeping enough, is it important? It's very important for mental health. So when you are very tired and not sleeping enough, that will affect your ability to deal with all these challenges, because mental health depends on your power of your brain. So if you don't sleep enough, then any obstacle that come to you, it's very difficult for you to overcome. So this is a diverse challenges. 1 in 5 Malaysian have a functional limitation. So all this also will cause your mental problem. So if you cannot see well, cannot hear properly, my mom recently went for a knee operation. So before the knee operation, she said that she was not feeling so happy, because she's worried about the operation, and also her mobility is affected, and so she's worried about the pain. So all these things are consistent with what Buddha taught. You are worried about your future rather than whatever that you have now. So, and there's 7% have memory and concentration difficulties, but the senses and mobility are the one that will affect your physical and also mental well-being. So the next question I want to ask all of you, you can check yourself. Who is responsible for your own happiness? So can you spend the 2 seconds to write down who is responsible for your own happiness? So some of the patients I talked to, they said, it's my wife that caused me to be unhappy, or the husband, or the son, because the son are not doing what I want them to do. It makes me unhappy. If he's following what I want him to do, then I'll be more happy. Some of them say it's the community, the people, the kampong and the neighbor. So the neighbor always throw rubbish, or the dog pass motion in front of my door. So that also make me unhappy. And then some of them, because of their working place is not so conducive and toxic, that also affect his happiness. And but they have no choice; they have to continue to work. And some will say the government make them unhappy. So all this, according to our Buddhist principle, is not the reason why you are unhappy. It's you yourself that make yourself happy or unhappy. Okay, so if you are not paying attention, this is the most important slide and the most important concept for the whole talk. So I hope that you can pay attention. So the first principle is that you are the source of all the sufferings. So you're the source of your own happiness and sufferings. The second most important concept is that the solution for all human interaction problems is compassion. So just trust me for this 1 hour, and then I will illustrate these principles. Okay. So some of you will say, "Oh, so if I'm the source of all this problem, it's a lot of stress, because I'm a normal person and not so powerful spiritually and also physically. How can I be the source of all my happiness? I cannot control. So this talk will allow you to have some understanding and control. Okay. So this is Dhammapada verse 1. It says that all mental phenomena has mind as their forerunner. They have mind as their chief. They are the mind made, and if one speak or acts like with an evil mind, dukkha will follow him. So we can see here that your mind will affect your behavior, will affect your mood, and also affect your body. So some of this patient of mine, because of their mental thinking, it makes them having all these symptoms like eczema and also pimples and runny nose, and also some diabetes. I have one patient with a severe diabetes because she kept thinking that she has a heart problem. So it was so high that she has to take diabetes medicine. But after I checked the heart and proved to her that there's no blockage, she felt so relieved and so relaxed, and her sugar came to normal. And within 2 months, she doesn't need to take medicine. So you see, our mind can affect our body. And the Buddha's principle of causes and condition can lead to the result. So the causes is a seed. So if you have a bunch of seeds, and then if you don't have the right condition, or you stay in a condo 28th floor, you don't have all the right ingredient to plant the seeds. The seed will not blossom. So we need all this, the environment, the sun, the water, and the soil. So it's not just a seed. It has to have the right environment for the result, fruits to come up. So when I started just now, the first principle of a good memory is paying attention. So this one Buddha taught as mindfulness. So mindfulness is paying attention. What is the benefit of this paying attention? So when you are paying attention, so you can watch your mind, your thought, your speech, and your action. Because if you are not watching on it, you do it unconsciously, and it can lead you to unwholesome action, and it can lead to negative karma. And the mindfulness is also allow you to anchor, so you can anchor with your breath. So during the day, you can pay attention to your breath, to your skeletal frame. So sometimes a lot of people can be mindful when they are sitting on the cushion, closing our eyes and meditating. But when they are out in their family and working, they cannot be mindful. So this is a method taught by one of the Bhante. He says that you pay attention to your skeletal frame. So it needs something to be more coarse. The subtle breath is not good enough to anchor you. You can also anchor to environment. But sometimes some of these people will have so bad affliction. You can use tapping. So what does it mean by tapping? So you can Google a term called EFT. I have a patient a few years ago. She has so much of stress, and the stress has increased her suffering of her back pain. So much so that she become near collapse. And she went to the emergency department, and I was there. And so she was like totally focused on something out there, and she was like moaning in pain. So what I did is that I was tapping on her forehead. So this tapping on her forehead will anchor her to the current and present moment and stop her from thinking outside of her body. So she must be thinking of something which I don't know what she was thinking. So when I tap, then she slowly come down in less than 1 minute. Before that, she was like shouting, like moaning in pain. But this tapping allow her to calm down. And a few days later, I asked her, "Do you remember what I did to you?" And she said she cannot remember. But at least it allows her to come back to the moment, the now, so that her mind doesn't get affected. And then, so this also, when you anchor your mind, it stop your mental from proliferation. It means like you keep thinking. So it's something that is so simple, it become very complicated. You go into the tunnel. So many of my patients who has anxiety and panic attacks, this can help them if they have a faith that this works. So especially those with panic attacks, I ask them to tap around the eyes, around the mouth, on the part of the body they have a discomfort. So some of them have chest pain, others them to close their eyes and tap on the chest. So when they do this, they can anchor to their body. So it's very similar to the breathing meditation, but using the cause body as the anchor. So mindfulness is awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose. So it's under your control. It's not an unconscious thing in the present moment and non-judgmentally. So sometimes some people will sit and meditate, but they judge themselves. Oh, I'm not doing well. I'm not paying attention. Oh, my mind's still running around. It's okay. So you don't have to be perfect. The perfection mindset is the one that causes a lot of problem. And don't judge whatever that you are doing. So this is the key to proper mindfulness. So everything that happened to you, first thing you have to be mindful, to be aware, paying attention. After you pay attention, then you have to make a choice. So anything that happened to you, your choice is your mind. You have to think of what you want to do next. So if you are not mindful, your mind will do unconscious activity, which is like if someone talk badly to you, then you will respond in a negative way, and sometimes you end up with a physical fight. So so your intention, and next your choice of what you want to do with your hands or body, or you choose to run, or you choose to fight or whatever. And then the last one is you have to make a choice of what you want to say. So if you are mindful, then all this will have right choice and right outcome. So your life is based on all these choices that you make. So some of these things that you here that you find it very logical on the social media, Facebook and all that, actually all of them you can trace back to Buddha's teaching. So so if you the core teaching is this, and maybe they repackage it to make it interesting, but actually all of them is in the core Buddha's teaching. So a lot of us would have this fear. They said, I'm not strong enough. You know, how can I depend on myself? So Buddha has said that you take the refuge, means that you depend on these three things. The Buddha as your mental psychiatrist, and the Dharma is the medicine for your mental well-being, and the Sangha is the one that deliver the medicine for you. So you depend on these three power. If not, on your own, you have no strength. So these are the things that they will give you long-term happiness. So Buddha has awakened, and he can choose not to teach. He's at the total bliss already. Why he wants to make the suffer himself to continue to teach, and go through suffering and show the he can just sit there, hide in a cave and practice enjoy his eternal bliss. Well, he doesn't need to teach. So the reason why he teach is because of the teaching that he taught is this great compassion. So loving kindness, compassion, and joy, altruistic joy, and equanimity. So all these are the Brahma Vihara. These are the things that give you long-term happiness. It's not the short-term happiness. So in psychiatric terms, simplistic way, we say it allows you to have more serotonin. Those things that you enjoy with your senses, your eyes, your smell, your mouth, and taste, will give you the dopamine enjoyment. So those are short-term, and dopamine also have limitation, because the more you take all this sensory enjoyment, the more your senses become numb. You have to take higher and higher. So you drink alcohol, the first one glass you feel good. After a few months, one glass is not good enough. You have to take 3, 4, increasing, like smoking or drugs. So these are things that is not long term. These are long term. If you go to my Facebook today, there's one car broke down in Mid Valley. So there are 4 of strangers. We came together and pushed the car. It was something that I felt joy and happy until now. So if you do some of these things, is something that can last longer than all the sensual enjoyment. So the first one, we talk about the control. I mean, you are the main cause, which is you take refuge. It's not on your own. You're not alone. The second one, most powerful concept, is the compassion. So a lot of times, we have to have a balance of compassion and wisdom, because if you are too nice to certain people, so I'm involved in Tzu Chi. So the principle is that you can help those people who are suffering and poor, and they give them money. But if you give them too much money, they become dependent on you. So we have to balance with wisdom. Okay, so it's not just great compassion, just give, but you're not using your brain. So just like those people with children, you want them to enjoy and give them whatever that they want without using your wisdom. You are actually destroying their life, because it's not a compassion with wisdom. So we have to balance with wisdom. So sometimes people will ask favor from you, so you need to know whether this can help them and do not harm yourself. So the middle path. So the next question is that, so just now we talk about compassion. So what is wisdom? So these are big concepts that you always hear. So I will just put it in short here. So if you give the monkey a bunch of banana and give them a stack of cash, So what would the monkey choose? The monkey will choose the banana. Okay, compared to us, we will choose the money because we have higher wisdom that now we know the money can exchange with more banana. And as human, so sometimes our children, we give them a choice of playing games and revising their study and books. So for them, they have a short-term view. They will think that playing games is more fun for them. So these are the difference in wisdom. So we have to develop our wisdom so that we can make the right choice. If not, we are just like a monkey with choosing the short-term enjoyment. So, so just now we talk about compassion. So in Buddhism, there's this metta meditation or loving kindness meditation aimed at cultivating compassion and goodwill towards others. It's all this. So some of you who are not familiar with Buddhism will think that this is a bit funny. It's like the law of attraction like that. You know, you send metta, send this kind of energy. So the way it works is that you sit silently in a comfortable place, then you recite all these things. You know, may I be safe, may I be healthy, may I be happy, may I be with peace, and then imagine that. Then after that, you send the same energy to your loved one, to a neutral person, to your enemy, a difficult person, and finally to all the beings in the universe and the world. So you may think that this is not logical. The science cannot explain this, but Buddha had taught this 2,500 years ago, and I have some facts to prove to you that this may work. And this is a technique that Sayali Susana has taught, which I think it works, and I tried on a few occasions, and I think this is a very powerful change in our mindset. So it says here, when you have the suffering, let's say you have pain. So Sally has said that she had this severe abdominal pain when she was in US in the middle of night. And also there was once she was attacked by ants in the jungle. So instead of killing the ants and also going to see a doctor, which I think is not wise. She did this. She said, "May all the beings with a similar pain be relieved from the pain that they suffer." So she contemplate this and say it in her mind, and it works magically. You know, her pain and all the ants disappear. You know, run away. So this is a very strange, you know, from the scientific point of view, but it works. But what is the reason? So there are things that defies logic and science. So our mind affect our matter and body. So during the tsunami in Aceh, you see all these buildings are all destroyed except for the masjid. So some of these buildings are made of stone and mortar, but how come they don't survive except for the masjid and the trees? You know, so trees are flexible. You know, they can be pushed and they can still be okay. So there are something that is working here that allow the masjid to survive. And this is a Theravada temple in Australia with the bushfire. All the forest around it burned, but it stopped just before the this center, you know. And the place that my son studied in City of 10,000 Buddha, they have forest fire nearly every year, but all the time the fire will stop just not far from their temple. So something is working, you know, and strange that cannot be explained by science. So this is you can read on your own. We are recycling atoms, all these minerals all found in the DNAs. And after we die, we go back to all these different elements You are not living on Earth. You are integral part of the Earth composition. Okay, this is quantum physics that can explain a little bit of the science behind all this mental thing. Okay, if you have time, you read about it, but I'm going to explain it in a very simple way. So this experiment is shooting the electrons through two slits. So if you shoot the electron to two slits, and if it is particle, the nature is particle, the electron will appear on two lines because it's a particle. So when you are not looking at this experiment, these two electrons behave like a wave. So the wave will interact and form many lines when you are not paying attention. But when you are looking at it, the scientist looking at it, it become two lines. So, and then even if the scientist not there, they put a camera to look at the experiment, it will form two lines. So it became particle. So if from unlimited potential of wave, it became two lines when someone is observing. So this experiment is has been repeated many times, and nobody can explain. You know, this same electron, but two behavior when human mind or something observing it. So there are some of these similarities. There's all this you can read on your own: interconnectedness and interdependence, and all these atoms are constant vibration and change. So it's impermanent, and also non-dualism and unity. So the concept of anatta. So it says that all these atoms are dependent on each other, and this is the experiment of double slit. So you can read on your own. Okay, and this is also a researcher called Dr. David Hawkins. He's one of the member of the Oppenheimer atomic bomb. So after the atomic bomb, he ventured into psychology and all that. And he says that if you are in this level of energy, gratitude, love, joy, and all that, so your energy is higher, and you have more ability to help yourself and help others. So two principles that I said. First, you are the source of your problem. Second, the solution of all the problem is compassion. So all the world religion, Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism and Buddhism, they all have this as their core teaching. I remember when my father, when I was young, he told me, he said he went to a church and he was told that if someone slapped you on the right cheek, you give them the left cheek to be slapped. So so it shows that compassion is the solution for all our problems. So the Muslim, the Hinduism, talk about metta and all that. So this is a similarity. And sometimes some of you may question about Theravada and Mahayana. So there are many similarities with one or two differences. So these are the things that you can read on your own. Buddha is the original teacher. There's no God and there's no eternal soul. So there's no soul that transfer from one life to another. And all these like Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, dependent origination, karma, three-mark existence, all this similar for these two traditions. Okay, so I'm going to give a framework of Buddha's teaching in this picture form. Okay, so our human life has this the circle in here. Do you know what's the representative of this circle here? Okay, these are the three poison. Okay, the three poison of greed, hatred, and also delusion. Hatred is a snake, and the greed is the rooster, and the delusion is the pig. Okay, so and then the second circle is the karma. So I want to ask you, what is the hatred and greed? We understand. What is the delusion? What's the ignorance? What are we ignorant with? So all this I learned from Sayale on delusion of what, which I I'm I'm quite happy to know about it lah. So what is a delusion? Can you type in the chat box? What are we ignorant of? I give you 2 seconds. Okay. So the ignorant is this circle here. Okay, so small you cannot read. I'm gonna make it bigger. So the three poison, the key is the ignorance, because the ignorance will allow you to have anger and also greed. Okay, so this will lead to these two. So this is the big problem, delusion, which is the wisdom part. So the ignorance of what? The ignorance of things that are permanent, anicca, and also dukkha. So we always, if we don't believe that our life is suffering, we don't believe that our life is not permanent, and we think about ourselves, then we have ignorance. The ignorance of this will lead to greed and and anger. So next, I want to ask you, because all these are interrelated. So the ignorance of these three. So among these three, what is the suffering? Suffering of what? Okay. So these are the three poison: greed, hatred, and delusion. So craving, aversion, and ignorance. The antidote for this. So for you to be released from the samsara, you have to be able to overcome these three things. So you have to do some of these things to overcome this. So you have to be generous, you have to have more compassion, and to have more wisdom of this suffering and impermanence and all that. So you have to accept this as a principle of our natural world. Otherwise, you have a lot of ignorance and suffering. So these are the same thing. So you can read on your own. And okay, this is also teaching that I learned from Sayale, which I thought is a very super practical. So just now we talked about the three mark of existence, which is dukkha, anicca, and also anatta. So this one, anicca, means that it's not, when we are born, we always think about growing old, getting sick, and die. Actually, everything that happens in us, our emotion or anything, follow this same principle. It arises, it becomes stronger, and become weaker and gone. So a lot of times we focus on, be aware that it arrived. Let's say you have pain, wow, pain, you feel the pain, and then the pain get worse. But you never pay attention to this, the pain disappearing and also the pain gone, because you feel relaxed already. So Sayadaw said that we must pay attention to the disappearance of the suffering to understand this principle. So we must, it's an experiential thing for us to understand the Dharma. So don't just pay attention to arising. So you have to pay attention to all this suffering that you have, see the disappearance of it. So someone in this audience is one of my patients, and he also have all this suffering, which is sometimes very difficult to elevate. So I ask him to pay attention. See, sometimes you have this pain and all this mental issue that arise. Ask him to pay attention and see the disappearance of this affliction. Okay, so this is a core teaching of Buddha, which is dukkha. So suffering is a spiritual teacher. So without suffering, we cannot grow. So that's why as human, we have this suffering, so that, and we have the wisdom to contemplate and improve. And I come up with this principle. I said it's called the law of relative suffering. So what is law of relative suffering? When we see someone that is worse than us, then we feel good. So sometimes is this human nature. You want to you find that there are some other human that have same problem, then you feel less suffering because I'm not alone. Okay, so this four noble truth, you know it already: suffering, origin of suffering, and end of suffering, and the path of suffering. So this one you can study on your own. So when we say suffering, it's because we are holding on to craving or attachment to certain things. So what are the things that we attach to? So I'll give you 2 seconds to think. What are the things that you are attached to? So you are attached to the five aggregates. So you're attached to our body. So our body, pain and suffering you attach to. And so you attach to your own sensation. Sensation means that all the sensual desire thing, you attach. Your perception means that you enjoy the, so sometimes you look at something and you say that it looks like a dog, but your friends say it looks like a cat. Then you can fight because of your perception difference. you know. And then sometimes your preference. So there's a lot of fight because of uh, some will say Theravada is better, some will say Mahayana is better, or then you can fight. Buddhist and Buddhist fight. So same religion, whatever religion, Christianity or Muslim and or Hinduism, they may fight with each other, because of, even though same religion, they are fighting with each other. And then that is the cause of their suffering. So as Buddhists, if you are doing this type of comparison, then you're not practicing what Buddha had taught. And the last one is consciousness. Okay. So, but the one that causes most suffering is the mental formation. So our preference, our views, and our values. So, the solution for all this, Buddha have give the Noble Eightfold Path, which you have, all of you know. I just want to focus on the wisdom part. Without the wisdom, you cannot do the rest. So you must have the right view. Right view means that all this, the three marks of existence, which is impermanence, dukkha, and also anatta, and the Four Noble Truth. So once you understand this, then your choice of action is your intention will be affected by your view. So with these two, then it can affect the rest. Your action will be correct, your speech correct, your livelihood correct. And then all this meditation thing is to allow you to be aware rather than working unconsciously. Your mindfulness, you're putting an effort to learn more about Dharma and meditation, and right concentration to allow you to achieve deeper concentration. So the key is this part. Once you have this, then you can do the rest. Okay. So the next circle is the karma. So this is the reason why you stay in samsara. So if you continue to have this unwholesome karma, which is all the poison, greed, hatred, and delusion, all this selfish, stealing, or negative result will lead to suffering and more lower RAM rebirth. So we always have to be mindful so that we don't create negative karma. And then the fourth circle is the six realms. The six realms is heaven, human, titan, or asura, and animal, world, hell, and hungry ghost. So these are the six realms with 31 planes of existence. So these are the, if you have a lot of negative karma, you are in the lower realms. And then if you do a lot of good deeds, you go to heaven, where you have sensual bliss, but it's not the mental bliss, it's a sensual bliss. So you continue to enjoy, so enjoy your all the sensual desire bliss in the heaven. And once you use up all the karma, then you have to come back to a different realm. So so um so you have to be very mindful of what you're doing. So the best is here, because you have suffering here, no suffering for you to practice. There's suffering here for allow you to practice and improve. These are all the different realms. So if you want to go to hell, you have to have all this very strong negative karma, and a lot of greed. You go become hungry ghosts. You have a lot of delusion. You go to asura. So this, as human, you are better. Okay. So and then the next one is 12 dependent origination. So this is also Buddha's teaching. to allow us to understand the karma. So the past causes of ignorance and mental formation cause your current consciousness, name, all these six senses and contact and feeling and sensation. So all this will be affecting the future present causes and also future effects. So this one you can read on your own. This is like so 2,500 years ago, Buddha, without any technology and all that, he can be so precise on each steps of how our mind works, and it's not a normal human thing. Okay, so you can read on your own. So one of the suffering that most people have, and this is something that I also have a fear. We have this craving to be existing. So as it's called existential craving. There's a fear of death. So you have this continuation of consciousness rather than transmigration because of karmic forces. And rebirth consciousness arise after death, conditioned by our past action. So this one you can read on your own. So to be able to be released from the samsara, you have to cut off all these poisons, and also understand the three marks of existence. Is not easy to do. So you have to, but Buddha has given you the steps to do it, which is a noble eightfold path. So so he is a great doctor because he give you the solution. So before Nibbana, all of us are sleepwalking in delusion. So we have ignorance and of the ultimate truth, and also hallucination of the six senses. So sometimes we saw something, but then we create some thinking. They think that, let's say we saw a shadow. Our mind will think that it's a ghost, but actually it's a tree moving. So our mind has this ability to create senses. It's part of our survival from millions of years to create things. Sometimes some of these tests where you have one picture and then you can when you look at the side of this picture, you may think that this other side is also there. So this is how our mind works. Uh, okay, so this is same thing. Okay, so some of you who are yogi and practitioner, so you can check yourself. Does your practice free you from all this carnal attachment? So any clinging to sensory pressure. Thus, if you are still having this and also clinging to all this, the mental formation, the real world beliefs, life narratives, fear of death or unknown, then you are not there yet. All this will hinder you from being enlightened. So I have list out all the toolbox. Some of those are the modern psychology, some are pop psychology, but it has all the same base from Buddha's teaching. So I want you to look at this and write down, when you are old, what are the things that's important to you? So I give you 10 seconds to think. Let's say you are 70 years old now. What are the important things for you at 70 years old when you are grow older? I give you 10 seconds. So these are the things. So many of my old patients say that good health is important. You also need to have money. You have a good family relationship with others, and also free time. So these are the healthy aging most important pillars. So the next 10 seconds, I want you to rate yourself. What is the percent of each category? Let's say you are healthy, you write down 90%. So so this is your resources. That means your ability to overcome mental illness. So you need to have health, you need to have money, time, and social. So some young people, they work very hard, they have health and money, but they have no time. Also, it's kind of suffering because they have no time for themselves. So rate yourself. Your health, how many percent? Your money, how many percent that you are? Your social happiness and your time. Social is the interaction with others. So you rate yourself. Okay, but all this are not as powerful as this big circle around it. So this big circle is the spiritual wisdom. So if you have the spiritual wisdom, just like those monks and nuns, the Bante and all that, they may not have health, they may not have money, they have no family members, and they have no time. Also, they are happy and in bliss. So this is a spiritual wisdom. Okay, not easy to achieve. And for those that renounce like Sayale and all these monks, they have no money. They only have three things, which is their rope and bowl and also medicine. So not easy. Okay, so in all this, we need to have balance. So I'm talking about normal human like us, not the spiritual people. So the normal human like us, we need to have balance of all four, all the health, the finance, and all that. You have too much of money, but the rest you don't have, also no use. So some people have a lot of money, but their relationship with their family are poor. That also will cause a lot of unhappiness and suffering. So you have to have balance of all four. Okay. Okay. This is uh, six core human needs for normal human. So if you are enlightened or arahant, you don't need all these six human needs. So this is very important for normal human, for their mental well-being. So this is in preparation before you become uh, wise, spiritual wise. So you have to understand this because your interaction with other people, their core needs will also cause your suffering. So first thing is security. Security in what? In your health, in your money, in the political system in the country, and so the important things, in my view, the basic need is this security. The second important thing is social connection. So a lot of people modern days suffering because of loneliness, because of poor connection and no love. So these are the two important things to me, but for you maybe different. So some people, they need surprises, like a variety. you know. So if not, they find their life is boring. So they will do things that are dangerous, like rock climbing. I have a classmate in Melbourne. He's Malaysian. He's he has a dream of climbing all the top mountains. So he conquer Mount Everest, but when he tried to conquer another mountain called, I think, Annapurna, he he didn't survive the the, the trip there. He is about age, and then he passed away because of his dream, because of he want to achieve something. Okay, that also because of significance. So sometimes uh, your wife or your husband is not happy with you because you don't give them the significance. When they talk to you, you're not paying attention, or you don't acknowledge whatever they've done. They become unhappy with you. So you need to be aware of these other people's human needs so that you reduce your own suffering and growth. So if you are learning something, then you also will be happy. So all this is for yourself. So these are attachment for yourself. But the last one, sharing. Sharing means giving people knowledge, like what I'm doing now. I feel good and also happy because you are giving something to others without asking something for return. So these are the things that can help you. So to me, these are the two important ones, but everyone is different. Some people, like my friend, his surprises and significant more important than all this. And some people, especially the Sangha, this is the most important. Their core is sharing. Okay, this is some of the study by this guy called Maslow in 1943. So these are the security, these are social connection, and these are the importance. So this is not as complete as what I just show here. Okay, and this is also another famous psychiatrist. He came with this iceberg model. So a lot of times we see some people behave in a certain way. If you think that they are doing it very funnily, but because there are a lot of things beneath that's part of their mental formation attachment. So they may expect their their son to work very hard. You know, they want their son to become a doctor or to become an astronaut. You know, but it's not what your son want. So your expectation and your expectation not fulfilled, then it will become a suffering for you. You know, you have a certain feeling, you know, and point of view, your desire is not fulfilled, then you have suffering. So these are the craving of unwise human, not the arahant. So the arahant, all this not important. So you can let go of all this. So our behavior affected by all this below it. So what is a healthy relationship? So next question I want to ask you. If you are in deep trouble, money or health or accident or whatever, so how many people that you can count on to save you? So spend the 10 seconds to think. Who can help you when you are in trouble? Let's say you are suddenly you go to ICU, you know. Who can you call to help you? Okay, you don't have to tell us how many, but so a healthy relationship is built on mutual trust, respect, and all that. So we have to build our inner circle. If not, we have loneliness. And both individuals uh, feel they are valued and safe, and they can express their needs and boundaries without fear of judgment or manipulation. Disagreements are handled constructively and respectfully. So your inner circle are the people that can do this for you. And you're in trouble, they can let go of everything and come and help you. So these are normal human, not the arahants. We still need people to help us. So these are the things that important. Okay, so this is a very busy slides, which I think you can read on your own. So in the family, you have to acknowledge family, offer support. When they're in trouble, you support them mentally or physically. We create time for share activities to do together and set boundaries. You respect each other's personal space. When they are very tired, you ask them to cook or you ask them to clean the house. That will make them unhappy. So you have to be sensitive. So friends also the same. Respect boundaries, show appreciation, colleagues at work. So this one all you can read on your own. So the power of this inner circle, because so you just need a small group of people, because this small group of people who have their own connections, because of your trust, your good relationship with them. When you're in trouble, even though they cannot solve it themselves, they have the resources to help you. So that's why many people wants to become my friend because I expert in medical field. So some people they have this good karma like me. You must use it appropriately. So they are lawyers, accountants, so you have this ability to help others, but you don't abuse it. So this is something. Okay. And a lot of times people suffer because of this perfectionist mentality. So if you want everything to be perfect for others, but you yourself are not perfect, you expect others to be perfect. So this is also attachment to you, the mental formation. So if you cannot let go, everything must be perfect, you will suffer. Okay. So more stress, less creative, more self-esteem, low self-esteem. Another problem with a lot of people is that everything is black and white. There's no in between spectrum. You're either good or bad. So this is also a kind of mental affliction. You are fixed with this thinking. So this is also not good. So you have to be aware that there are these kind of things. And ANT. So all of us have this N in our mind, automatic negative thought. So how can we overcome that? So this is what Buddha had taught in this sutta. Okay, by all this, which you can read on your own, but this is a more complete one. So first one is awareness and mindfulness of the Dharma. Awareness is the first step. So mindfulness is the first step. And notice your thought, observe the disappearance of the thought. Okay, this is what Sayalay taught. You must see the thought disappearing. So many people have this problem. So someone in this group has this negative thought. So you try. It's not easy, but I give you the tools. The next one is letting go. Don't keep holding on it, and then understanding the principle of karma and effects. Unwholesome karma will lead to bad effects. So the more negative thoughts, you think of killing someone, even though you didn't do it, but this will lead to more negative effects. Reframe your thoughts. So in Chinese, they call change your geji. So you change your instead of focusing on you in your community, small place, you look at the whole global world. So in Malaysia, we are affected by all this political thing, but with this world that is open and globalization, don't focus on local. You can open up and change your frame. And let's say you have some issue coming, problem, you can reframe it to say, I'm learning and improving. And gratitude practice is a very powerful practice. You can shift your energy from negative to more positive. And the final one is keep a journal and notice negative thought and actively challenging them. So is this real? So sometimes you, for example, I have a friend who 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 said that there's once his friend saw him in the streets, and then he didn't acknowledge his waving to him. Then this other friend assumed that he's very rude and angry with him, but actually he's not wearing spectacles, so he couldn't see him waving to him and try to acknowledge him. So you have this mental creation. The truth is that it's not that he's angry with you, it's because he cannot see you. So sometimes you have to challenge whether it's a truth or not. And then sometimes to solve it is very difficult. Speak to a wise friend or a psychologist or psychiatrist, because that will change your perspective of how you look at the things. Okay, so you have to keep a journal, because this is helpful in terms of your mental well-being. Okay, sometimes we have all this mental issue because of low self-esteem and low confidence. So we can do some of these things which you can read on your own. Self-compassion. So you have compassion others, but you also have compassion for yourself. And set small goals. You have to have goals and focus on your strengths and value. And like the quantum physics, you surround yourself with positive people. Don't spend too much time with people who are very negative. Self-care practice. So self-care means that you have to have a strong body with energy. So you have to exercise and eat well and have activities that can de-stress you and challenge perfectionism, celebrate progress and not perfection. So uh, don't be too perfect. If you are too perfect, then you cannot do most things. Okay, so these are uh, some of the things that can affect our mental well-being. This is the family or origin. So a lot of us have some mental issue because when you are young, the way that your family, parents, and your siblings have caused you to suffer. So these are the things that the parents trust, love, and self-worth. You role model your family. If they neglect you, you feel very lost and no love. They don't give you the support. So these are things that happen. So the solution to this is that individuals can overcome negative influence through Dharma and mindfulness and also positive relationship. Another thing is that sometimes some of your parents are doing the thing that they are doing that you think is not right. They abuse you when they are young, but if you have more wisdom, they maybe follow a family tradition from hundreds of years where the way that they treat their children are the same, and they also suffer. Your parents also suffer. So the family tradition, the environment, if they live in a very poor condition, they have no resources to give you the attention that you want. And so this is the background of the reason why and what they did to you. The most important is that they didn't do it intentionally. They are not in control also. So if you have this perspective, you instead of feeling angry with them, you have a compassion, which is the solution of your problem. You have the compassion is that they also suffer because they didn't know how to solve this. So you have to stop the cycle. If not, you continue to progress. If you're Buddhist, you get rebirth and you get stuck with the same person and same problem. So you cannot forget, but you can choose to forgive and let go. So this is part of the wisdom practice. And so these are inner child. So these are the things happen when you are young. It's stuck in you. So the way you behave is affected by the suffering that you had when you are young. So there are some techniques they use by the psychologists and hypnotherapists. So I was trained as a hypnotherapist. What they do is that they bring you back using hypnosis and using your memory to change the perception of the suffering. So you can go back as older self to protect your younger self, or you can use spiritual leader to come back. Like I sometimes use a Kuan Yin, Kuan Yin to go back and protects you. Or sometimes you can use Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong has so much power. You go back and protect you from being beaten up by the bullies. So some of these things is all in the mind, and sometimes it works. So these are the inner child therapy. So like what I just said, reparenting. So go back to the past, imagining comforting and nurturing scenario for the inner child, emotional healing. So all this back to the basic principle of compassion and love, self-compassion. So compassion for yourself. So loving yourself, all this self-acceptance and practicing this healthy relationship. So sometimes you say I don't want to depend on others. You want to rely on yourself. So you can do some of these things which you can read on your own: self-compassion, self-acceptance, self-respect, self-worth, self-care, self-esteem, self-awareness, and also self-forgiveness. Okay, so you have no time to read. You just read the read in this. Speak kindly to yourself and embrace your flaws and learn to say no. Set boundary. You cannot do it. Just say no. Don't force yourself and do it, and you yourself suffer. Acknowledge your accomplishments. So always look at what you can do. So don't look at all the things that you cannot do. And then you have to have self-care. Your physically must be strong. Sleep, healthy eating, and exercise. Recognize your strengths. Reflect on your actions. Accept you are human, and forgive yourself. You are not arahant. So you make mistake. Okay. So a lot of words, but before Buddha passed away, he said, after I pass, the Ananda asked him, after you pass away, there's no more leader. How do we continue with this teaching? So he said that it depends on your inner teaching, discipline, and also Dharma teaching. So inner discipline is all the precepts and all that. So the precepts is the guidance for you. So the three refuge are the one that guide you. So these are the for normal Buddhists, you have to do this, stop all this. But yeah, 8 preceptor, and Sayale is 10 preceptors. So the number one is killing. So let go of discrimination against people who are not rich, older people, different sex, racism, and also species, because your precept is not to kill other sentient beings. So if this is your precepts, then try not to do that to other species, whether they are low or high. Okay, so I know you are all normal humans, so sometimes you have to kill. Okay, so that one is part of your things. So the Noble Eightfold Path is the daily things that you can do to work towards liberation from samsara. So mindfulness, awareness, ethical choices. Okay, so sila, samadhi, panya. So you must be ethical so that you don't create unwholesome action. Then you can have more concentration. Then you have more concentration to contemplate all this wisdom. So engage in regular meditation, kindness and compassion, learning and understanding. Okay, so these are the paramis. The Theravada and the Mahayana has different. So just pay attention to the side here. Generosity, so helping others. Morality, wisdom, put in effort. Patience. Okay, these are good, wholesome things. Truthfulness, determination, metta, and upekka. Okay. Okay, so part of the action in Eight Noble Truth. So once you have the wisdom, you have the intention, then the intention will affect three things: your thought, your speech, and your action. So what are things in the speech that you have to be in control? I mean, to do properly, to do the wholesome thing. So whatever you say must be true. Don't say things that not true. Must be benefiting others, and it's not harmful. It causes hatred, division, and all that. Not good. And then must be kind and gentle. It must be say things in a timely manner. You know, if the earthquake is going to come, and then you are earthquake expert, you don't tell them. You know, then earthquake will kill more people. Avoiding gossip and harsh speech and abstaining from divisive speech. So these are the top three is this one. Real, helping others, and not harmful to others. You can read on your own. Okay, action. What is the action? So a lot of them are in the precept, except from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, honesty, promoting non-harm, respecting others' boundaries, supporting others. Okay, right thought. Right thought is the mental formation thinking thing. Letting go, goodwill, non-harming, clarity, understanding, mindfulness, positive visualization. So all this you can read on your own. Okay, so Buddha come up with this simile of the poison arrow. So a lot of times we pay so much attention to things that are not important. When the poison arrow is poisonous and attack you, you don't want to find out whether this poison was shot by your enemy or friend or old or young or girl or boy. You want to remove the poison. So if you have a lot of time, then you can do this, but we don't have much time. And as a normal human, unless you are the sangha. Sangha also not free. So you must pay attention on the important things. So you want to if you wait, so life is short. You must pay attention on the important things. Don't worry about other things that are not important. So this is if it's urgent and important, do it now. Not urgent. If it's important but not urgent, you also select a time. So these are some of the modern things. So this is a question for that the wise man asked: when is the best time? Who is the most important person? What is the most important thing to do? I give you 3 seconds to think about this. When is the best time? Who is the most important person? And what is the most important thing to do? So the best time is now. And who is the most important person? The person that you are with. So now the person that I'm with is all of you in the Zoom. So you are the most important person to me now. But sometimes you are alone. So when you are alone, the most important person is yourself. Because sometimes some people cannot live with themselves. They are so unhappy with themselves. And then what is the most important thing to do is the thing that you are doing now. So for me, I'm talking to you. This is the most important thing for me to do now. So now, and then if you procrastinate, the pain will become higher and higher until you do it, then the pain will become less. So this is also some of these things that being used and it works. So this Ho'oponopono, yes, this chant that you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. So this is also based on Buddha's teaching. First thing, I'm sorry means that you accept that you are wrong. You let go, so acceptance. Second thing, please forgive me. You ask the other party to let go of you, not to forgive you, you know. So you ask, so the other party cannot forgive you, you also stuck. Then the third thing is a gratitude. Thank you for all this. And the last one is compassion. I love you. So this has been used in research and show that it works. And sometimes people can do it to themselves. Let's say you have a cancer or disease. So it is something like metta. You know, let's say you have cancer. You say, I'm sorry because I didn't take care of my health that caused this cancer to grow. And then second thing is that please forgive me, you know, for causing you to suffer. And then next is thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn something. And finally, I love you. Even though you are causing harm to me, I still love you. So, so you have to have this mindset that is a positive thing. So I taught my mother this. She said, this one might make her very depressed because she said, I'm the one responsible. You know, so sometimes you have to change your mindset. She said, this is make her more depressed because I'm responsible for all this. No, I'm not responsible. So you can try that, but it's based on Buddha's teaching. Okay, so this is also very important to have a strong mental well-being and physical health. So you need to have a strong body, so balanced diet. And the one that's proven is a whole food plant-based diet is proven for your body and also mind. Exercise also good for your mind. Sleep must aim 7 to 9 hours. Stress management, okay, strong social connection, deep relationship with family and friends. Mental stimulation, learning new skills. Okay, this is the one of the needs. 6 human needs: avoidance of harmful habits, regular health screening, healthy weight, and positive attitude and purpose, gratitude and all that. Okay, I think I took 1.5 hours already, so I continue for 5 minutes. So power of the breath. So a lot of times, a lot of my patient and friends say I cannot meditate. So this is taught by Chat Min Tan. It's the Joy on Demand author. He said you don't have to do 1 hour meditation, just one breath. The one breath is a hyper intense focus on the breath. So you are mindful on one breath in and out. That's good enough. So this will give you a sense of success and give you the confidence to do more. So if you do one, then you can do two. If you do two, then do three. So start with one breath only. Because if you ask them to do 1 hour, half an hour, their mind become give up, because they cannot do it. So only one breath. And then the breath also a kind of anchor. So like I said, so sometimes my patient cannot sleep. The reason why they cannot sleep because their mind is thinking, 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 thinking. Their minds are in US, in Singapore, and all that. So when you are thinking, you cannot sleep. So your mind must be together with your body. Then you can sleep. So use the breath to anchor your mind to your body, and then the breath also can allow you to relax. And the next thing that Sayale had taught, which I thought also is useful, is awareness of death. So sometimes when you have meditating and you have so much pain, when you are so sleepy, sloth and torpor when you are meditating, so he said you hold your breath. So when you hold your breath, after a while, your mind will clear up. And this also is proven by research itself, says that if you hold your breath, the body will optimize the blood flow to the brain. So all the blood flow will go to the brain and you become more alert to save yourself. It's a survival mechanism. So the breath can allow us to do many things. Okay, so sometimes when we are doing meditation, we want to concentrate, but because we concentrate so much, it become a stress. So when I first learn meditation, I find it very stressful because concentrate, too much concentration. So the key is you must be relaxed, then only concentrate. So two must be in balance. It's not just concentration only, but it's not good also to relax too much relaxation. So it must be balanced. On the relaxation, allow you to concentrate more. If you are too concentrated, you have a lot of stress and you won't enjoy the meditation. And then these are some of the habit. All the habit will allow us to continue certain practice. So this is Atomic Habits by James Clear, which I thought is very useful. You have a cue signal, then to allow you to do something and to have the craving to do it, and then you take the action. And after you do the action, then you have enjoy the reward. So example is like you go exercise. So you put the shoe at the door. So you see the shoe, then you have the craving. I want to run. Then you do the running. After running, then you enjoy the feeling of doing the running. So this is the cycle of habit. But if you have a lot of bad habit, so first thing you make it obvious. For sure, you put it at the door. But you have bad habit. Let's say you like junk food, then you should not buy it. You make it not obvious. The environment, you don't buy junk food so that you don't do it. Second thing is that you make the junk food feel very bad. You imagine the junk food has insects or what inside. And then the last one, you don't make it easy, complicate the bad habits, and you have some punishment doing the bad things. I mean the bad habits. So this is something that you can explore. These are people who are not arahant. So you are a normal human. So you have to use some of this technique to trick our mind. Okay, so these are the last two slides. So from my point of view, what works is the Eightfold Path, the implementation of Dharma. Okay, the gratitude journaling, to writing down, it works. So a lot of times when you have all these negative thoughts, you cannot talk to someone, you can write it down. And then at the same time, you also write down what you are uh, grateful of. Mindfulness and meditation, a lot of research have proven that this is good for mental well-being, and set goals. So you need to have clear goals. And then atomic habits means that start with the small steps, like the one breath. Start small, and then the more successes, the more confidence you have, and helping others. That will promote your own happiness and social connectedness with other people. So this is the most important slide, apart from the earlier one I said. So that's a revision. You are the problem and you are the only solution, because you cannot expect your wife to solve your mental issue. So any problem that you have, your first thing, you must face it. Don't run away from it. And then after you face it, you accept that this is a problem. And after you accept it, then see whether you can change it. If you can change it, that's good. If you cannot change it, then leave it. So this is based on Buddha's teaching. You let go, and also you take action, the Noble Eightfold Path, to make it wholesome. So sometimes someone do something to you, make you angry, then you become more angry or fight back, then become unwholesome. So you have to take the mindful right action. Okay, so I hope many of you are not sleeping and no ill will after listening to me. So hopefully you can learn something. And this is a normal human is afflicted by all this. We set a goal. Let's say our goal is to do something. Let's say to exercise, to do gardening. Then there are all these things that's stopping you from doing. You have all these things affecting you, but because of robot and AI, we are inferior to them, because all this robot is becoming real. This is from Tesla. They have no hindrances. Once you set them the goal, let's say the goal is to wash the toilet, they will just do it. For us, we say, "Oh, yeah, well, so smelly, so dirty. I'm so lazy. I have no energy." But the robot will just do it. So they will take over the world if they are not controlled, because they have no hindrances. So you may say that without hindrances and affliction, they are enlightened beings. Or they are not enlightened beings, but because they have no emotion. So that will be affected by them. Okay. So my own spiritual path, this is mine. So you have your own self, your own. So I try to be mindful. So I'm also a normal human. So you see me doing something wrong, don't come and attack me. So I try not to waste time, learn and practice dharmas. So in medicine, we have this principle: see one, do one, teach one. So when we see a procedure, operation, then we see one. After that, after see many, then we do it ourselves. After we do it, then we teach someone else. So I hope that this principle applies to you and you apply it to yourself, and then you teach other how to do it. Also, and wholesome action and deeds create good affinity. Don't fight with others. Helping all living beings with wisdom unconditionally. So with that, I will have a better rebirth in a more optimal condition, and then I'll repeat cycle 1 and 2 lah. So all of us will go through that. And for me, to be born healthy and as a doctor is not a coincidence. If the God is all loving and kind, and why are they treating some people with great suffering? Or they are born with handicap, with poverty and with a very difficult family situation. So it must be something that happened that they are selected to go through the suffering. So it's not coincidence. So all of you may have wishes, but set a clear goal. And with that, I thank all of you for your attention. And I think I've taken too much time.